Hey, Tony Gaskins here, Car Chronicles. You know, I got a question asking me about long distance relationships. And I want you to think about this. When you think about long distance, the thing about it is a woman and a man's heart is two totally different things. So for a man is very physical. A man needs to touch you, to see you, to be in your presence. When they say that a man has one of those thoughts every 15 seconds, that is true for a lot of men. Whereas a woman, on the other hand, a woman may be naturally more romantic. Long walks on the beach, long phone conversations, laughing and talking and building. A lot of women enjoy that. So long distance is the way a woman's heart and mind, the way a woman's mind processes emotions and handles feelings, because a woman is more understanding, because a woman is more patient. All of those things suit a woman better in a long distance relationship. Whereas a man, being a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more impatient, a little less understanding, men struggle in long distance relationships. And so that is why I have always said that a long distance relationship is pretty much non-existent for a man. Now, that's not the truth across the board, because of course we know that there are hundreds of thousands of men in long distance relationships. I believe when the Creator made us and he gave us certain tasks that we would have to accomplish in the world, a man being a hunter who had to go out into the field and hunt for the food and bring it back home, also a man who had to fight and go to war to win land, conquering different lands, being gone in war for periods of time. In order for a man to have a heart to be able to go and do what he is naturally built to do, his heart has to be wired a little different than a woman. And then a woman being home, and a lot of times left home with children. Even think about it in modern day, how a man may have to go off and be deployed. And not all the time does the woman and the kids go with him. So there's a dynamic here where you will notice that women are more set up emotionally for long distance relationships, and men are just not as wired for it, but yet have to go through it and endure it and be responsible and mature in the process, just as we expect a woman to be. So you always hear people say, look, if your man go to the army, you better believe he's gonna cheat on you if he's away. Or a lot of people tell men, if you go into the army, don't get married before you go, because she's not gonna be faithful to you while you're gone. And I found that to be true in a lot of cases where women are unfaithful to their man in a long distance relationship, and almost 99% of the time men are unfaithful. But when you think about it, what is 1% of 7 billion people? So what is that? 700,000, 7 million? I don't know that number. I say that to say, although the percentages are small, it's billions of people. So you can't get down and just automatically say, look, the odds are against me, so I might as well give up on my long distance relationship. No, you can rewrite the rules. You can be an exception to the rule. But here's what it's going to take. For one, you have to communicate daily. If you can communicate daily and the schedules allow it, you have to communicate daily. The other thing is, you can't just talk on the phone if you are able to FaceTime or WhatsApp video or whatever it may be, Skype, whatever you use. You have to do that daily. it's beneficial for a man, and I'm speaking from a male's perspective, to look you in your eyes so he can see you and feel you. So it helps a man build, and it may also help a woman. I'm not a woman, so I don't know how your mind works. You may be, as a woman, totally fine just talking on the phone. As a man, he needs to look you in the eye. Now, the other thing is you need to be creative. So don't just FaceTime daily. Also write letters, write handwritten letters that you can send this handwritten letter to your other half. Because when you write it, you're exercising the brain in a different way than just talking. So you feel the words. It's just like taking notes in a class. Just like taking notes while you're watching this video. If you take notes, if you write a letter, it does more for you than just moving your mouth and talking. If you receive the letter and you read the letter, it does so much more, because now you can read that letter 50 times, 100 times. When you're feeling down, when you're feeling upset, you can read the letter 100 times. Whereas when you have a phone call or a FaceTime, you hear the word, but it may go in one ear and out the other. By the end of the call, you may forget what exactly was said and how it was said. And let's say you get into a little riff on the phone, and it feels like an argument. Well, when you listen back to it after the call, you may mishear it, and you may say something that he or she did not say. That is the benefit of writing a letter every week. Now, the other thing is you need to try to see one another. If it is possible, you should try to see one another once a month, unless you're on 2 different continents or something, or just so far away it's way too expensive. But if you can go half, and if that means him coming to you, unless he's, in the service or something like that, or you going to him, her coming to you, you going to her, whichever way this is. If this means y'all splitting the ticket, instead of saying, look, you come to me this month and you pay your way, and I come to you next month, I'll pay, y'all can split the ticket. If you're in a couple of you together, you can split the ticket, and both of you are going in on this. And so if you can see each other, if it is possible, then you need to do that. Now, I'm not going to get into all the extra stuff, that y'all want to do on the video and all of that, because I'm saved and sanctified. So I'm not going to be condoning that and telling you that. And I don't know who's watching these things. I don't know the surveillance level on our phones and what's going on the phones. So all that extra that you want to do on the video, that's on you. But what I'm saying is you have to be very, very diligent if you want a long distance relationship to work. If you are talking every 3 days, you're not in a relationship. If you never get to visit one another, and it's not because of someone being like in the service and not allowed to have visitors, if it's or something like that, to where you absolutely cannot visit one another, you're not in a relationship. If you can visit each other and you're choosing not to because you don't want to spend the money on a flight, you're not in a relationship. If y'all just text or just email and you have the ability to get on FaceTime, you're not in a relationship. If it's just through Facebook, you're not in a relationship. You have to be able to talk to this person, see your other half on the phone at least, or Skype or whatever, WhatsApp, whatever, for this to be real. Now, I'm speaking from a male perspective. A woman, your situation may be different. You may be able to just write letters or just Facebook. I'm telling you like this from a man. If a man cannot see you, cannot touch you at all, and it's been 12 months, 24 months, you're not in a relationship with that man. He's single. That man is single. He might have a whole nother family where he's at. I'm trying to tell you, long distance relationship is extremely, extremely, extremely hard. And here's the thing. Unless there are some circumstances where one of you cannot pick up and move, around that 12-month mark, y'all need to be having a conversation that's saying, I'm moving to you or you're moving to me. And if y'all aren't trying to make a move around that 12-month mark, you are wasting your time. You are not in a relationship. Y'all are pen pals. Y'all are pen pals. That man got a whole nother family. I'm trying to tell you. Because men are not built like that. Men are not built like that. Women could be built like that. And ladies, I hate to bust your bubble. If you've been in a long distance relationship for more than 12 months and you have not seen that man in person, y'all have not visited each other, and all y'all doing is talking on the phone, even if it's FaceTime, he's single. He's single unless, now I say this now, I have to speak to the majority, so I can't always be talking to the exception to the rule. The only way that this man has been with you more than 12 months in a long distance relationship and has not hugged you physically and does not get to see you on the phone or in person, and the only way he's faithful is if he walking with the Lord. He is all the way in with the Lord. And if that is not the case, you lying to yourself, you playing yourself. He will need a power stronger and bigger than him. Trust me when I tell you. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. I'm